Hello everyone, my name is Aiden and welcome to this video. So as you can tell by the title, this is a video based on a weapon which I've primarily built and used to take out mist monsters. Now the title is Mist Monster Shredder. So if you put two and two together, you might be able to come up with which weapon I've been using. Yes, the Super Shredder. How creative, I know. So the Super Shredder, let's go into it. Now, with the update 4.2, we got given the Recombobulator, giving us a choice of perks for weapons, along with new perks as well. Two of these being physical damage and damage to mist monsters. So, if you guys didn't know, mist monsters are actually, physical elements. They don't have an actual element type. So, other than smashers who sometimes do, get an element just to make them a bit more challenging, all the other ones, lasers, lobbers, flingers, that bunch, they're all physical. So this perk here and the Mist Monster perk act as your base damage. So overall added up, fully upgraded, that's 80% damage, altogether. And then we have the reload speed, don't need to explain that. That on the Super Shredder is the perfect perk. You could use magazine size, but the Super Shredder has a long reload, so I wanted to just take that down. Then we have critical hit rating and critical damage. So the critical hit chance and the critical hit damage, as you can see in the left hand box, is currently hit chance 40% and hit damage 255. So it's maxed at 255 hit damage, and then crit chance can go up to 45. Now weapons have a base chance of, it has a base of critical hit chance at 5%, 10% or 15%. Super Shredder is at the base of 15%, as you can tell. Obviously if you subtract 25 from the 40, you're left with 15, and then if I add it again, the full 30, it would be at 45%. So you have a 45% chance of hitting, well, I'm not sure if that's how it works. I believe there are some numbers, so I'm just going to say it how it is, but it's not the right thing. So there's a 45% of critical hit chance of you hitting the critical hit damage of 255%. Now, that's not the actual hit damage for criticals. The actual critical hit chance is 325% because I'm playing Teadshot Jess in support for the extra 70% critical damage to sniper rifles, which means it's 325% more powerful when that crit shot lands, which is pretty awesome. I mean, obviously, it can vary the shot. It might be its full potential of a crit shot, or it might be the lowest. But at full potential crit shot, 325% more damage. So that is a lot. And obviously, with a fairly high hit rating, I do hit my criticals fairly regularly. Now, this is the perfect weapon for taking out mists, in my opinion, because it has range. Now, as a constructor, the people that I'm worried about are smashers and lobbers. I'm actually more worried about lobbers because people in my team, soldiers, outlanders, focus on smashers. I myself as a constructor like to focus on mist monsters too, but I like to focus on the ones who also have distance. So lobbers, flingers, and also lobbers, flingers, and lasers. Lasers are the big ones there. So with this weapon, you can also keep your long distance whilst focusing on lasers, lobbers, and flingers. Obviously, flingers are a melee, you're meant to use melee on them, but the Super Shredder actually manages to kill it in, so many bullets. So if you're too lazy to run over with a melee weapon, you can actually kill it with the Super Shredder with this build, but that's if you're lazy. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you were to, too lazy. But normally you're meant to leave flingers alive because the more flingers you have alive, it stops spawning mist monsters in general, if you didn't know that. So it will stop, lasers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just some information. So I'm sure you'd like to see this weapon in, the gameplay of it. So I'm gonna, whack that up now. Okay, so when I watched this back, my recording software records the sound of obviously I was meant to have game sound, but I was watching a prison documentary on the side there, and all it had was these inmates talking about their lives. So there are no gun sounds here. Just my voice is what you're left to enjoy. So as you can see here, I'm sitting up high, and this mist monster here just got slapped for 172k. Now I'm going to take this weapon for a full potential spin at one point when I've completely maxed it. I'm going to take it into level 100 missions, We're going to see what this baby can do. But as you can see, it takes out lasers and, you know, these mist monsters, which are actually meant to be, you know, the threats of this game, so easily. I mean, lasers can absolutely smash you if you don't. So, I mean, look, we've got two here. And, I mean, as you can see, the yellows are the crit damage, and then the white is the affliction. If you didn't know, the affliction on a physical still works. You don't need one of the other 4 elements for affliction to work. It does also work on, you know, said physical. So as you can see here, we have a smasher, a fire element smasher, and this weapon still does high damage on it, although it is physical instead of water. As you can see here, I'm still hitting up to 80k, 60k, and I can land off a lot of shots. It's got a good fire rate, and it's got a good reload, and you see how quickly we took out that smasher. I mean, that was a level 94 smasher. And, you know, we just took it down with a couple of shots. I say a couple, but, you know, I mean, for a smasher, you know, some people take a while to take down smashers. Now, obviously, you know, you have people like urban assault hunters that can absolutely take off. That was some poor sniping from me, I know, but he was meant to be walking that way, but he was glitching out. Obviously, you have soldiers which can, you know, do pure damage against these elementals. So, I mean, as I said, this is basically good for keeping distance as a constructor. I mean, I wouldn't expect people to be running a Super Shredder Mist Monster build if you were, you know, a soldier or an Outlander, because Outlanders, there are some good pistols you can use. Like, I know a lot of people use the Ranger, they use the Dragon's Breath, I think it is. It's the 2-shot pistol, and that all correctly done up can do I think you can 2-hit smashes. I think it was Rage Brothers that was talking about it. He said that he could 2-hit smashes. He normally uses that, and I think it was him that also said he will whack the 2 shots of the Dragon's Breath. If it doesn't happen to kill the smasher, obviously he has 3 pistols lined up, so he drops to his second pistol and finishes it off like that. So yeah, I mean, there are other classes which can do more damage to these elementals, but for me, this works with my playstyle. So keeping distance, I'm looking after the base, I'm focusing on taking out monsters that my team don't really have, you know, much, like they're not keeping an eye on so much. So as long as I've got distance for lasers, lobbers, I'm protecting the base, you know, I'm doing my job. So as you can see here, there is a flinger, and I'm shooting the flinger. I don't know if you saw that, but the amount of health that comes off from a shredder shot is actually quite a lot. And if you didn't know, I'm assuming you do know, but the flingers are meant to be meleeed. You're probably wondering that's why they take so many shots with weapons. You're meant to melee them, they're weak to melee. It's as simple as that. So here, as a pure example, one of those lobbers, they're all the way down there. My team isn't going to be travelling down there, so that's for me to take them out. And then here's the lazy aspect of the Super Shredder. If you can't be asked to go melee these guys, I mean, look at the damage I've already pulled off in this level 94 flinger, just from distance. I mean, I was too lazy to go whack out my Krypton sword to take him out, so I just thought, hell, I'm going to shoot you with the Super Shredder. And it does it fairly quickly. I mean, probably the same amount of shots as a Smasher. I mean, that's how tough they are against, you know, just, you know, weapon shots. So there's a lobber here taking, you know, absolutely destroying me. I see where the shot's coming from. I go find her, and I absolutely, one shot, simple as. I believe the lobbers are also, you know, the lobbers also have 2 types. They have the purple shots that they do, and then they have their smoke ones. Both are equally as annoying, but the purple ones, you know, they destroy your base, and they're the ones you've got to worry about a bit more, as opposed to the, you know, the mist balls that they throw, the misty balls. They just happen to take away a lot of health, and they're also a pain in the arse if you have defenders up. So here again we have another flinger. There were quite a lot of flingers this game actually. There weren't as many lasers as I wanted, but you did see at the start there were a lot of lasers. But, you know, I was picking them off before they even got close to the, you know, the base that we had built. So here is another fire smasher. We're just going to take care of him. Some high hits here. As you can see, we're 3 hits in, and he's, you know, it take about 5-6 hits to take him halfway, and that's fine for me. I mean, I'm a constructor. I'm not meant to be absolutely slaying, you know, smashers like this, but, you know, the fact that I can basically, if my full mags, a full 8 shots on the smasher, is going to take them down quite a lot. And that's it. I mean, I just wanted to show you guys that this weapon is, you know, insane for taking out these mist monsters as a constructor. I mean, it has the perfect play style, I'd say. You know, for me it's perfect. And here we got 2 smashers. They think they're going ham sandwich, but the whole squad's here. I've got my I've got my weapon out ready for some destruction. We got turrets, we got decoys, and I've got my little exploding bomb thing. So they didn't really stand a chance, even in their little duo. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to just fucking make you watch all this gameplay, because you get the idea of it, you get the gist. I've explained it to you why it's good, and I'd also like to hear what weapons and characters, you know, what setups you guys use. If you do have a Mist Monster build, what do you have? I mean, some people, you know, I mean, like I said about the Dragon's Breath earlier, if you whack that up, you know, for boss builds, you could do some serious damage with that. Like I said, people are two hitting the smashers. And then yeah, as you can see, I went to change to my sword to get him because I was on the ground, but I didn't have one built, so I had to quickly make one. And then I just failed to jump because I suck. But yeah, I mean, I said I was going to stop prolonging this like a minute ago, but I've just carried on. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, leave comments down below with your weapons. And, I mean, I just like to see what people build. And, yeah, I'm just carrying on talking because that's what I do. I'm a talkative guy. And it's annoying. I know. I'm going to leave now. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.